Mir liegt sehr viel daran, mit jungen Leuten, so wie euch, zusammenzukommen und einen Meinungsaustausch über wichtige Themen zu führen.
Not a question.
That was just a statement. Okay, sorry.
My name is Kim. In a speech to the Congress in November 2009, Angela Merkel talked about the feeling of gratitude of the German people towards the American. What do you think about the development of the relation between Germany and the USA? Angela Merkel hat in ihrer Rede vor dem US-Kongress im November 2009 das Gefühl von Dankbarkeit der Deutschen gegenüber den Amerikanern zum Ausdruck gebracht. Wie nehmen Sie die Entwicklung der Beziehungen zwischen Deutschland und den USA wahr?
Vielen Dank. Kim, is it? It's Flemish. I was with the Chancellor at that speech on November 3rd, and it was a magical day. It started with a meeting with President Obama in the White House in the Oval Office. We then all drove down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol. The Chancellor met privately with the Speaker of the House, which is the head of the Congress, Nancy Pelosi. The Chancellor then gave an extraordinary speech before a joint session of Congress. First time since Comrade Adenauer had done it in 1957. In fact, this was a joint session and Adenauer's wasn't, so it was even more significant. There was then a very special reception afterward. It was just a magical day. And the Chancellor did a splendid job. And her whole purpose essentially was to say thank you, as your question suggested. It was obviously at the 20th anniversary of the wall coming down. And it was particularly poignant because of where the Chancellor grew up. And the fact that she was coming at this from the perspective of someone from Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. And that made her comments even more powerful. And as I mentioned a minute ago, when I was answering your question regarding what I would say to Americans about Germany, she actually not only gave a speech, by the way, auf Deutsch, very powerfully, and then at the end she switched into English for the last page. And the way she switched into English was extraordinary. And it ended the speech on an extraordinary note. But it was also a speech it was a speech that reflected back into Germany, but it was a speech also to the very heart of America. And it captured better than I could ever capture how important this relationship is. You know, I say regularly, it's the most important relationship that our country has had in the world over the past 60 plus years. And that's just a fact. But I think even more importantly, it remains so vital even right today. So forget the comparison to history. She got that across so effectively, and the reaction was so wonderful to that. And she touched some tough issues. She touched climate. She touched Iran. And she touched Israel, and the German support of the state of Israel in the context of discussing Iran, which was probably the highlight of her speech. So it was an extraordinary summary. She did a better job than any of us could ever do in reminding each side of the Atlantic why this bridge is so important. My pleasure, Kim. Who's up?
Good morning, Mr. Murphy.